And we're here once again for the second of the VHSL Boys Semifinals here at the Stuart C. Siegel Center in beautiful Richmond, Virginia. Here we have the Cox Falcons taking on the Freeman Rebels for the pleasure to take on Cosby in the state championship game.
Yeah, and this is really going to be an interesting matchup here because not only did the teams come out here and travel here, but if you could see behind us right now, the Freeman Rebel faithful have traveled, in full force. I don't know if maybe they got like a pass to get out of school early or something, Tim, but, you got to think that something happened to where all these kids got out with an excused absence or something.
Something along those lines. I can't imagine it, but that is really impressive that we got to see. Freeman, of course, located in Henrico, Virginia, which is not that far away from the Siegel Center in downtown Richmond. So it's no surprise that they have traveled well. The Cox Falcons, on the other hand, a school that has a lot of success on their plate. 2 state championships to their credit and 8 appearances in the state finals. Falcons hailing out of Virginia Beach, and they came a ways up here together. They want to have some better luck than the last team from that area, who unfortunately dropped the first game in 4 sets.
Yeah, and again, like you said, the Cox Falcons have experienced some success here. Now, as far as Freeman goes, they've only made 1 appearance in the state tournament. They made it to the state semifinals, so they've been here before, but they have not won a state championship yet. And judging by warm-ups, got to be honest with you, Tim, they have got some freak athletes on their team. Guys can just absolutely sky, so if they can manage to capitalize on an athletic advantage, it seemed like, then they could be sitting pretty.
Indeed, that is the case on this one. I should also mention that here with this is going to be I've got a feeling that this is going to be a very well-played game here this afternoon. Once again, this is Tim Blank, your play-by-play man. Alongside me, Taylor Jensen, the co-man. The 4 referees are just about set to get this one going, and we are just about set to get this game going as well.
Now, I do want to say one thing, Tim, and that's that this game is not only just, a state semifinal match, but it's actually a rematch from last year's state semifinal between the Cox Falcons and the Douglas Freeman Rebels. So this is going to be a case of revenge for Freeman because they want to prove that, hey, you may be his first time. Not going to happen twice, though. Don't hold your breath.
They definitely want to show that it's not going to be easy for the Falcons, but the Falcons, you just look at that. I swear to God, if you didn't tell me that this wasn't a volleyball team, I'd think that this was the Cox basketball team that I took a look at. They have got size to spare on the left side.
That is true, and for me, I'm 6'9", so I walk by some of these Cox players, and even some of the players from Freeman. They were getting close to me. I felt normal, Tim. I felt normal.
I think I can understand how that feels, Taylor. Man, but we are set here for the second of 4 games here on the VHSL network today. After this one, we also have the AAA girls semifinals. That'll start up at 5 o'clock with Atlee playing Stonebridge, and then Kellum facing Langley for the nightcap at 7. But yeah, you just want to take a look at this crowd right behind us. The Freeman faithful fired up, ready to go, ready to help cheer their team on to victory here this afternoon.
And that could be a big factor. Because obviously volleyball, like we talked about last game, is a big game of momentum, but the fans really have a big influence with that.
Well, let's also remember the fact on this one. Cox is not 30-0 without a reason. This has got to be one of the better teams in the state to be able to do something, to be able to have a record that impressive. So we see them coming up here. The Rebels will get the ball first to start this one. And as we see Ryan Stuckey setting up there's the first serve, and the game is on. Cox setting it up. There's a block right there by the Rebels. Falcons trying for something. Good spike right there, but it floats out of bounds. Freeman gets the first point of the game.
their fans are going to be deafening. Especially if they end up making it to the championship round. I can imagine they'll get an even bigger turnout.
There's Cox trying to set something up right there. Freeman keeps it alive. Good spike right there. Hits the ground. Freeman takes an early 2-0 lead.
And that was number 19, Joe Creasa. And he's standing at 6'6" as a senior middle blocker.
Freeman not intimidated at all, as we see coming from the far end. The Cosby Titans walking out of there. Cox this time, they get the ball. They get the point this time. It falls in their favor.
I'm anxious to see how this first set is going to play out. Which team's going to take momentum early?
But as we saw in the first game, momentum may not be the most important thing. Cox setting up with the kill attempt. It floats, but they're going to rule that it went off of a Freeman defender, and the point's going to go to the Falcons.
And number 11, Kellen Hollingsworth for Frank Cox. He acknowledged, hey, that's my bad on that.
And Cox keeping it alive right there, floats it over. Freeman returns it, sets it up, gets the floater right there, but it manages. But Cox keeps it up high. Cox keeps it going. Freeman now with the opportunity there. Spike attempt and a good block there by the Falcons. Freeman trying it again that time, but goes off of the Cox defenders, and it's 3-2. Oh, but no, they're going to call it. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. I guess a quick little mistake on the scoreboard operator. It is indeed 3-2 Freeman. Freeman setting up here for the serve. Set up. And a nice little finesse move over the top of the blocker to tie the game back up.
And that was Ryan Rosenmeyer there with the kill. He stands at 6'5". He's also a senior, so we definitely got some height out there on the court, which we already touched on, but it's proven to be an advantage.
Nice jump serve there by Cox. They get this one over there, and it lands inbounds, and Cox takes the lead.
And Cox is really doing a good job with their ball placement, picking spots on the floor where it's going to be tough for the defenders to get to.
Here comes the next one right here. Ace Emlich with a nice spike right there, but a good dig out of the floor. And a beautiful spike.
Wow, we're in for a treat with this game. I got a feeling.
There is athleticism, there is power, there is speed. I think that this might be the highlight of the day right here. Freeman gets it that time and bounces off, and Freeman takes the lead.
Man, I'm sorry, but these Rebels, they get off the floor quick. The athleticism that goes with volleyball is just incredible.
It is incredible on this, but a nice spike right there. Oh, credit to Ryan Rosenmeyer, just putting the ball down where no one else can get it. As we see them getting going right here. There's the spike. There's the serve by the Falcons. Rebels getting it set. Spike attempt. Good block there by the Cox defenders. Gets it across. Cox sets it up. There's the spike and a good dig there by the Rebels. But that time it ain't going to work as good. And Cox retakes the lead.
And give that dig credit to Michael Bueller. And he's a libero for Freeman. Great heads-up play there. Don't need to say the name Bueller more than once with him.
Yeah, I think we're going to be saying that. And they're going to rule a double on the part of Freeman. So it's going to be 7-5 now in favor of the Falcons. We see John Verissimo getting set. Good return right there, but it goes out of bounds. Freeman gets the point.
And Freeman hanging tough. I mean, it's only, again, 1 point separating these two teams. Like I said, I think we're in for a treat here because these are some good volleyball teams.
No question about that. I think that both sides are looking good. And as we see here, the Falcon faithful are starting to make their way into this one just as Cox makes the point on that one to extend their lead back to 8-6.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious which team that these people showing up are rooting for. All their feathers, the wings, the Falcon costumes.
And you got the green and gold pom-poms for the fans as well. Good hit there by Freeman. Cox this time gets it going, goes over to this side. They're going to rule that out, and they're going to rule a point for Cox.
That one's sailing right over our heads.
There's the serve by Cox. Freeman setting it up, gets the point, gets the shot across, but Freeman manages to keep it alive. Freeman setting it up, spike attempt right there, but nothing doing. The Falcons keep it alive. A good little tip back over the net. There's the set and the spike. Nice little fake right there, faked everyone out. They're just going to let this one fall down, and Freeman's going to take the point.
And these Rebel fans are still on their feet. I don't think they're going to sit the entire game. They know that this is a special opportunity. They have to exact some revenge from last year.
No question about that. Freeman setting it up. Cox trying to get something going here. There's the spike attempt, but the Rebels keep it alive. Falcons take it. They float it over. There it is right there. Still trying to get it. Cox finding ways to just keep it alive. There's the spike attempt. Lands in bounds. 9-8 here in the first game.
Line drive there from the Rebels.
I mean,
I don't care who you are. I don't think Usain Bolt could have caught up to that ball.
I don't think so. You just look at this. This is working both sides right here. This is incredible. And a good spike right there by Zach Tuckman. Makes it 10-8. They set it up right here. Phil Favlaro with the serve. Oh, and a floater right there by the Rebels, but the Falcons ready for it. They get the block this time, but they're going to rule that they went over. Oh, my mistake on that. I guess not. There's the serve attempt right there. And the Rebels find a way to get in there, and it's a tie game here at 10-all.
Boy, neither one of these teams are really going away. Momentum, yeah, I mean, just because of the fans, it feels like it's with the Rebels, but really, when you look at the game, I mean, it's deadlocked.
There is no clear indicator as to who's winning, and that setup attempt goes out of bounds. Point to the Rebels. There's the serve by the Rebels. There's the spike, but a great block. All three men on the front line, 8, 9, and 20. Bryce Emsberger, Ace Emlich, and Zach Tuckman tie the game back up for the Falcons.
And all those guys are 6'3" or taller.
That's just incredible. We see Ernsberger setting up for the serve. And a good jump serve right there. They set it up. They're going to rule out, and Cox takes the lead.
And these serves are impressive. I mean, the velocity on these balls and how quickly they're diving once they get over the net. I mean, just look at this.
That's incredible. There's the play there. Cox setting it up here. And we hear the chant coming from the Rebel fans. They try to block it, but it goes out of bounds on their side. Cox takes a 2-point lead.
And give some credit there to number 10, Michael Albus. He's a libero, but he's doing a good job of setting up his teammates to be able to get these kills.
Another jump serve by Arnsberger. And a good play there by the Falcons to take a 14-11 lead.
And the size up front for the Falcons is really causing problems for Freeman.
And a quick miss serve right there, but Ernsberger's going to try again. Here's the toss and the serve. Good dig right there by the Rebels. Gets over to the near side. Good spike right there. What velocity. Ace Emlich just zipped it right across to the other side, and it's now 15-11.
My goodness. They are just crushing these balls.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Just how quick those things are getting across to the other side. There's the spike. There's the dig by Freeman. Freeman gets it back over. They're trying to get momentum back on their side. The Falcons get it across, but the Rebels keep it alive. Goes off a couple of times, goes out of bounds, and the Rebels get their first point in a while.
And that kill right there was number 21, Ryan Stuckey. He's a 6'4" senior. The middle blocker position, making his presence felt. Now number 19 checks back in. That's Joe Kreza. He's a 6'6".
And the serve just does not go the way for the Rebels.
That's a tough break.
That is a tough break. Cox is really starting to get going on this one. You hear the Cox fans now starting to get going. They don't have as many numbers as the Freeman faithful, but you know that they're going to be here the rest of the day. And a good dig right there to keep it alive by Freeman, but Cox has it ready. There's the spike, gets it across, and they're going to take a 17-12 lead. I think we're just seeing unbelievable athleticism here by the Falcons. Rebels setting it up, getting it back across, and it lands out of bounds, and it's a point to Cox.
The Rebels are really struggling here to get some stops and put some points on the board and get on a run.
There is the serve. And they try to get it over, but the front line kept it across. It's now 19-12.
And the set was just a little too high there for Kreza. He couldn't quite get all of the ball when he tried to kill it.
And we got a timeout on the floor for Freeman. Trying to get some kind of clarity in this situation. Down 19-12 here in the first set.
Fans kind of getting into it here on the timeouts.
And you hear the Cox bench really trying to get their players on the floor motivated. They know that they want to get that momentum early. If they can get that momentum early, it could definitely be it could be a short game on both sides. Cox could be playing Cosby here tomorrow morning at 11. There's the serve by the Falcons. Rebels trying to set it up.
They're going to call a double. So it's another point to Cox. They're starting to run away with this first set.
No question about that. Up 8 against Freeman. There's the serve. There's the hit. Quick little bit of a finesse play right there. Freeman's going to try to get themselves back into this game. They set it up right here. Here's the serve attempt for the Rebels. Good play right there. The libero gets it up, but not high enough for anyone to get back to it. Cox takes an 8-point lead, takes their 8-point lead right back. Should watch out right here. Ace Emlich setting up for the serve. Nice jump serve, a good dig that time by the Rebels. And a good spike that time for the kill.
Chris Campfield there on the kill, and he had some hang time there. He just sat up there and picked his spot.
They got to find some kind of momentum in this before it gets away from them, as we see Chris Campfield setting up to serve. He gets it across. Freeman setting it up. Good kill on the front line by Ryan Rosenmeyer.
And you can tell the Falcons really rely on that front line to produce most of their points. And they're tough to stop. They get so much velocity on their kills.
There's the hit right there. It's going across. Falcons set it up. There's the kill attempt right there, but a good effort there by the libero to keep it alive. They get it across right there. The block unsuccessful, and Cox is 2 points away from taking the first set. They set it up right here. John Verissimo with the serve. Freeman sets it up, bounces off of Asa Ernlich, and goes out, and Freeman's going to get the ball back down 8.
Well, I think Freeman found their go-to guy in Campfield.
There's the serve right there. Quick little movement right there, a little finesse play, but not working with much. Freeman gets it back across. Good play by Albus. The libero goes out of bounds. Freeman sticks around, 23-16.
And Freeman just kind of went into a slump around the middle of the set, and now they're having to climb out of it.
Here's the serve right there. Good play right there. Gets it across. Good block there by the Falcons. Rebels trying to get back into it. There's the point right there. Nothing doing. Falls harmlessly to the ground, and we're up to game point. Game point for the Falcons here as we see Michael Albus setting up for the serve. He gets it across. Rebels trying to stay in this one. Gets it across here to the other side. It's going to get ruled in, so it's 20. No, they're going to rule it out. My mistake on that, and Cox takes the first set 25-16.
And just like we talked about last game, this second set is huge for both teams. You can either go into a 2-0 hole or tie it up at 1 apiece. Or if you're a team that won the first set, you can go up 2-0. So this is huge here. And the Rebels really could use a set without that lull that they kind of went in halfway through the first set.
No question about that. If Freeman wants to get back in this game, they need to take this second set. So as we see right now, game one over. Cox dominates this one towards the end and has a 1-set lead over has a 1-game lead over the Freeman Rebels as we approach the first break of the afternoon. We'll go ahead and step aside for a little bit, and we'll be back with more action here on the VHSL network.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1. For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
And we're back here on the VHSL network, set to start game 2 of this boys volleyball semifinal here in the VHSL between the Cox Falcons and the Freeman Rebels.
And these Rebel fans are getting into it, trying to get behind their team. They could use a little boost here.
They certainly could use a boost. After sticking with Cox for a good portion of that first set, Cox just ran away with it in the second. In the second part of the first game to take it. So now the sides have been flipped. So we're going to see if that has any help for the Rebels.
They really need to take this set. You do not want to go down 2-0 to a team that is 30-0.
As we see, the Falcons will get the ball to start the second game. As we see, setting up is Kellen Hollingsworth for the first serve of the game. But it hits the front of the net right away, and Freeman is on the board first. So now we see them back on here. Dylan Hicks setting up for the serve. Gets this one away, good serve. And a terrific block, but it goes out of bounds.
It's going to tie it up early.
Cox sets up for the next serve. Good jump serve on that part, but a nice dig there by the Rebels to keep it alive. Good spike that time, though. As we had a bit of an incident over here on this side, but we're okay. Guess that stuff sort of happens.
Ball just came sailing through here on press row.
But we're doing okay here as we see that coming up. Good serve on the part there. It's now 2-2.
Here
See
we go
the
with
serve
the
right
serve.
there. Freeman setting up Cox. Woo! Beautiful kill there.
And boy, number 12, Ryan Rossenmeyer from Cox is really making his presence felt, causing a lot of problems for the Rebels defensively.
No questions there. 3-2 as there's the serve by Cox once again. Freeman setting things up. Floats out of bounds, and Cox takes the point there. 4-2.
Cox just keeps finding ways to score, and the Rebels got to get it figured out quickly. Serves in play. There's a great kill there, but it's returned.
Rebels set it up right there. There's the kill attempt. Terrific block on the front line. There's the setup once again. This time he gets it through, but someone digs it out close to the press box. They still keep it alive, but the officials are going to rule that it was outside of the pole, so Freeman is going to cut the lead.
Like I said, Chris Campfield's kind of the go-to guy right now. And he's their outside hitter, and he is a lethal one.
See them setting up right there. There's the serve. And a good block that time. This time it's going to rule that it went across, and Cox has the point now, 5-3.
The Rebels really do got to get better with returning some of these kills.
There's the serve right there. Freeman trying to get something going. There's the kill attempt. Guess who? Zach Tuckman, one of the co-captains, does it again to extend the lead to 3. There's the serve and return coming up right here. Good hit that time. They're going to rule that it was in. They're going to rule that it was out, I should say, and the point goes to Cox.
And these two teams are no strangers to each other. The Rebels lost to Cox last year in the state semifinals. They've met twice in the regular season. And the Rebels dropped both contests to Cox there too. So the Rebels looking to pull off an upset here and get their first win over Cox.
There's the serve right there. Cox setting something up. Good kick over there. But the Rebels keep it alive. Good hit back over to that side. Spike attempt right there. Manages to get across before it bounces off, and it's now 8-4. Serve attempt goes right into the net for Cox. Here's the next serve attempt right there. Gets across. Good spike right there for the Falcons. They extend the lead even further. Here they come setting up right here. 9-5 is the score. There's the jump serve. Good one over there. That one floats over our head out of bounds. It's now 10-5.
Cox starting to run away with it here early. The Rebels really got to avoid going into these early holes.
They got to find some way to get back into this one. Jump serve yet again, and Cox keeps it alive. Little tap over the net. Cox sets it up right there. Good dig to keep it alive, but it goes out of bounds. No, they call it a double, and Cox now has a 6-point lead. Another beautiful jump serve right there. And a good kill attempt right there. It goes out of the hands. Deflected out. Go ahead.
Those serves from Bryce Ernsberger are just mind-boggling. I mean, he's throwing that ball easily 20 feet in the air and just crushing it.
Here's the hit right there, and it's a good kill there on the part of John Verissimo to make it 12-6. And Freeman is going to take a timeout here. Try to take themselves a bit of a break. Try to gather their thoughts in this before this game completely gets out of hand. That might be so, and we're just taking a look down here at the fans here on the side. We see the person dressed up as the Falcon actually running out in front of the Freeman fans here. I don't know. That's a kind of a calculated risk. I know the VHSL promotes sportsmanship, but now we get a couple more right here. We got the
blue man.
We got the blue spandex men right there. They're running through, and look out! There go the barricades. Oh, thankfully, nothing too wrong here, so everyone's okay for us. That's just a funny thing that just happened to us.
And they're loving it.
Everyone's loving it right now. They're cheering. They're liking this. But now we're back to the action here in the second game. Cox looking to take a stranglehold on this one against Freeman. But he floats that serve attempt, and Freeman's going to get the ball back.
Freeman needs to go on a run here. Get a few kills or something. Close this gap. They're falling behind too early. And then they find themselves having to dig out of early holes.
There's the snap right there. Good spike attempt right there, but Freeman manages to keep it alive. Rebels get it across. Falcons now setting things up. Spike attempt and a terrific block right there at the front line.
And boy, that is exactly what they needed right there. Number 19 for the Rebels. Again, that is Joe Kriza. Kreese is crazy on that front line. I'll tell you right now, he just shuts everyone down.
Give credit to number 20 as well. He was there as well to shut that down. Block attempt there. Bit of a ricochet, but they keep it going. A beautiful spike right there to reduce the lead to 3.
Campfield answers again. And he has got so much hang time when he jumps. He is literally just picking his spot on where he wants to put the ball.
See them coming up right here. Freeman trying desperately to get back into this one. Cox floats it over, but Freeman floats it right back. There's the kill attempt right there, but Freeman is ready. They set it up. There's the spike, and it gets it right down there, and it's now a two-point deficit.
And here come these Rebel Rowdies, making their presence felt.
There's the serve right there. Cox setting up. There's the fake spike right there. They keep it alive. They keep it across. But it's going to go out of bounds, and Cox is going to regain possession and extend their lead to 3.
And just a tough break there for Freeman. They managed to get the ball back into play, but couldn't keep it there.
Here comes the serve attempt this time by Ace Emlich. Good hit on his part. Freeman keeps it ready. There's the serve. Somehow Albus keeps it alive. And a good tap across the top of the net. But they're going to rule that it went out of bounds.
That was the right idea by Campfield. I'm sure that's going to be there a few more times throughout the game.
So 14-10 is our score right now. But the serve bounces off the net and onto the ground on the Cox side of the court. So it's now a 3-point deficit between the two schools. Freeman trying to set something up. Good spike attempt, but Rebels there to keep it alive. That time that one bounces over. And they're going to rule that one as a point for Cox.
And not sure what the call was there. But again, Freeman cannot afford some mistakes like that. They've got to be on their A game if they want to pull off this win.
Cox setting it up. There's the hit. There's the spike. And there's that impenetrable wall right there. Now making it 16-11. And a good spike that time. They're wondering about it. They're going to rule that it was in. They're going to give the point to Freeman.
And they're going to say that the Cox defender just got a fingertip on it, so Freeman's still within reach, but they sure could use another big run.
They could definitely use it in this situation. They have possession. There's the serve for the Rebels, but he sails that serve attempt over to the other side, and Cox now has a 17-12 lead.
Again, another costly mistake from Freeman. They've got to cut down on these because every mistake they make is a point for Cox.
There is the hit right there. But a good return there by the Falcons as they try to set something up. There's the spike attempt. What's the call on this one? It's going to go off of a Freeman defender. So Cox will get the point, now 18-12. Floats that one over. Freeman trying to get something going. There's the spike attempt, but nothing doing. That one's going to go out of bounds, and Freeman's going to get the point in possession.
So here's the problem is Freeman is trading points right now with Cox, and that's not something you want to do. You've got to go on a run and start building up your momentum and points.
No questions here. Freeman trying to do something about it. There's the serve. Whiffs on the kill attempt. And another point to the Rebels.
And there was a lot of open floor on the Rebels side, so they got a lucky break there.
But unfortunately, they do the exact same thing they did the last time, and they sail the serve attempt.
They've got to get these serves under control. That's the fourth time this set that has happened. And you take those away, and we could be looking at a very different ball game right now.
There's the serve by Cox. Freeman sets the return. There's the spike, but a good play by Albus on the back line. And a nice floater right there. Good finesse by Bryce Ernsberger to get to 20 points. And Freeman is going to call their second timeout of this game. to try and get something going, but they can feel that the season's slowly starting to slip away from them at the moment. And you're just looking at this between both of these teams. Cox has won all the matchups against Freeman this season, even won last year's semifinal match. So the odds are definitely not in the favor of the Rebels. It's not impossible for them to get back into this one, but they have got a long hill to climb to get back into this. As we see the Falcons setting up for the serve, Phil Favaloro does the serve, but it goes out of bounds.
There was a lucky break there from Freeman, so now they need to use this opportunity to get some points up and not trade them.
There's a serve right there. Good bounce on his part. He gets it back across. Good spike attempt right there, but Freeman somehow keeps it alive.
A great hustle.
Good block there by the Rebels. Falcons trying to get something to get the points back on their side. And a nice play right there. What a rally we have going here. Kill attempt right there, and the Falcons keep it alive. There's the spike attempt, and Freeman still keeps it alive. What a rally right there, and the point goes to the Falcons.
The Falcons just getting closer and closer to closing this out and going up 2-0 in the sets.
There's the serve, good jump serve, but it bounces off the net and down. Freeman's going to get that ball back.
And it's really getting into crunch time here. Too much trading of the points right now.
Indeed, that seems to be the case at the moment. Good spike attempt, and look at that. Beautiful play right there.
Dylan Hicks getting all kinds of excited.
They're trying to get something going here. If they can get a couple more points, then this is going to be a very interesting end of the set. Falcons trying to set this one up. Great kill attempt, but no, they're going to rule that it was out of bounds. And Freeman now down only 3. I think that he probably just got that one just a bit outside of the pole there. There's the... And they are going to rule that that's out again, and Freeman is now down 2. This is exactly what the Rebels needed.
Slowly but surely just clawing their way into it. This right now is a battle of wills.
Here come the Rebels. They get the serve off. Albus sets. There's the set. They keep it over. Falcons keep it alive. Rebels have it. Albus just right there whenever they need them to keep a play going. But there's the Falcons with the point right there to make it 22-19.
And these balls are just going too fast. You almost got to predict where they're going to be if you want to have a chance at returning them.
Here comes Kellen Hollingsworth with the serve. He sets this one up. Good finesse play right there. They float it over. But a good block right there by the Rebels. But they're going to rule that they crossed the line. Freeman now down 2 with the serve. Trying to do anything they can to get back into this game. There's the serve. Cox trying to get a good return. Good dig right there. Good spike. It goes across. It's up in the air. They fish it across. Rebels. There's the set. And it's going to be a double on the Rebels, making it 23-20.
Again, another costly mistake. That's got to be at least 7 points that they've just given to Cox.
23-20 is the score. There's the hit. Here's the set. And a good block there on the front. But they're going to rule that it landed out of bounds, and Freeman's going to get the point and the ball.
Where has this Freeman been all game?
That's a good question. Here come the Rebels. They get it across. Cox trying to set it up. Good kill attempt, but the Rebels keep it alive. And another good kill attempt, but the Rebels still manage to keep it alive. But the Cox Falcons get the point, and now it is game point here in game 2, up 24-21. Falcons trying whatever they can to take a 2-0 lead here in this match. Nice little play. There's the bump. There's the spike, but the Rebels keep it alive. There's the spike, and that one goes off of the liberos. Usually Albus has been really sure-handed in this game, but this one actually goes off him the wrong way, and now Freeman has an opportunity here. Gets it across. Albus gets it. There's the up, and a good block right there. What's the call? Point to Cox, and game to Cox. 25-22. And Cox is 1 game away from making it to the state finals.
And this is a position that they definitely wanted to be in. Up 2-0, sitting pretty. All the pressure is now on Freeman to make a comeback. And they have sucked the wind out of the Rebel crowd.
Sitting down for the first time in this one. But we certainly see that they are going to do it. So we're going to go ahead and step aside here for a break before we enter the third game with the Falcons leading the Rebels 2 games to none.
1 match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot at this.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1. For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
And we're back here for the third set of this Virginia State Boys semifinal between the Cox Falcons and the Freeman Rebels. The Rebels now down to crunch time here. They're going to have to win 3 in a row if they are going to win this game. You see them coming back out onto the floor here, setting things up here for what could be the third and deciding set of this match. Freeman is going to serve on this one.
Freeman desperate to win a set.
There's the serve right there. Good dig, but not a very good dig right there.
Got themselves an ace.
An ace in the hole right there for Freeman to start off this game. They need every bit of momentum that they can. They're going to rule the point that time over to Cox. Probably crossed the line on that one. We see Cox setting up right here. Kellen Hollingsworth with the serve. There's the kill attempt right there, but aimed at a little too low, and right into the net it goes.
And that's frustrating for him because he's been, for the most part, the bread and butter of the offense for the Rebels.
See them coming up right here. Number 11 setting up once again. Hollingsworth gets the serve across. And that one, it goes out, and it's going to be 3-1 Cox.
And again, the Rebels cannot afford to just go into this lull right now early in the set and then decide to show up later.
There's the serve right there. Good little finesse play to keep it across, but great. But Cox keeps it alive, but the Rebels keep it alive, but not for long, as it falls harmlessly out of bounds, and it's now 4-1. There's the snap right there. Whiff on that. That almost looked like he reached over to block that one, but that one goes a little too far on the hit attempt right there. Freeman cuts the lead to 2.
And this is where Freeman has got to start getting some momentum and building. You cannot wait until later in the set to finally get your stride, and then you're getting things going.
Here comes the serve right here. Gets it up right there. There's the hit. Good block that time by the Rebels.
And that was Campfield there, getting the majority of that block. And he is hyped up, trying to get his team back into it.
They're trying whatever they can to get back into this. And it goes out of bounds that time.
There's not a lot you can do with that.
Just a good shot there by the Cox offense. As we see Earnlich getting set for the serve. Good jump serve right there, hits the top of the net. Good hit right there, bounces back over. Falcons keep it alive. They get it back over this way. There's the set, and they get it across before the block, and they cut the lead down to 1.
And that is some things that they needed out of Joe Kreza.
We see one of the girls' teams from one of the semifinals later today have just arrived in the building. There's the kill attempt right there, but nothing happening. There's the hit over to that side. Good hit right over there. Goes out of bounds, and Cox takes a 6-4 lead.
If you're the Rebels, you want to side out right now and don't allow Cox to start getting a run. That way you can get some points up.
No questions there. There's the hit. Good block right there by the Cox defense, but the Rebels keep it alive. But they're going to rule a double on Freeman, so it's now 7-4.
And some of the Rebel faithful showing their displeasure with the call.
There's the hit right there. They keep it low. Good floater over the top of the net, but not enough to keep the play off. They're going to rule that it lands inbounds. Point to Cox, 8-4 the score.
This is exactly what they did not want to happen. I mean, they had them to 2 points, and now they're back down 4, just like that.
Cox with the setup. There's the hit over the net. There's the serve. They try to float it over, but nothing happening on that one. And it's a timeout right there with Freeman. It's a timeout now with Freeman with Freeman down 9-4.
And you can see some of the miscues, and the timing is just kind of off when they're trying to set for Joe Kreza. Just not quite on the same page, and it's cost them about 2 times already this set. And then, of course, they called a double on them as well. So they've given up 3 points just off the top of my head to Cox from mistakes and miscues. And these are things that are really spelling for disaster for Freeman, because the last set they gave away 9 to 10 points off of mistakes.
They certainly don't want to give up any more of these. If they give up any more of these, they're going to find themselves heading back to Midlothian with their heads down. The Falcons setting up right here, getting ready to start. There's the serve. Rebels take the set. Good return there by the Falcons. And a nice floater right there, but a good dig by them to keep it alive, but it goes out of bounds, and Cox now has a 10-4 lead.
That was some great hustle, but again, just sometimes the hustle doesn't always pay off, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Here they come once again. Rebels trying to get any kind of momentum going their way, and that certainly is not going to do it. It rules out of bounds right there on the kill attempt, and it's now 11-4. Cox closing in on a trip to the state championship game where they will face Cosby Saturday morning here on the VHSL network. There's a good spike that time. There's still a little life for the Rebels.
And they got to build on things like that, because Cox, again, they're showing why they're 30-0.
They set it up right now. They're looking for anything that they can do. Here's the serve, a nice little floater. I can see what they were trying to do on that one, but this is not the situation to try to experiment with things as far as I'm concerned. Albus is going to serve for the Falcons, and he gets it across with no problem. They set it up there, but they're going to rule that it went past the pole, so a point to Cox right there.
And Cox just really starting to run away with it now, an 8-point lead.
Freeman trying to set things up right there. They get it going. They still got some life. There's a point right there for the Rebels.
And those are things that are working for them, setting up your outside hitters to try to make some kills. That's something they need to look to do more often.
They're going to try to do it again here. Here's the jump serve attempt. Gets across. Falcons set up the outside hitter. They get it across, but Rebels keep it alive, and they get it back across. But a good block right there by the Rebels. Albus sets it up. Good spike right there. Albus set that up perfectly for Arnlich, and it's now 14-6. Setting things up right now. Here's the serve. Nice spike right there.
They go to the middle blocker, number 21, Ryan Stuckey. He makes a play for himself.
There's the spike right there. Falcons trying to get something going. Good floater right there. Had the Rebels fooled all day long. And Cox is 10 points away from a state championship bid. Setting up for the serve here. There's the serve. There's the set for the Rebels, but they keep it alive here. They come over this way. Almost running into us, but the ball's still in play. Good block right there. They're going to rule. It looks like there's going to be a little bit of a conference right here between the side judge and the head official. They're going to rule point to Cox. Cox now 9 points away. The countdown is on. There's the serve. A good block right there. There's the set over to the other side. Good spike over this way. And a nice little spike over top. You can just see the frustration building in the Freeman Rebels right now.
There's just not a lot of answers for the ability that Cox has to just place the ball wherever they want to put it.
And the Falcons, the Rebels are going to use their final timeout of this set right here. 17-7 is our score. So we're going to go ahead and step aside here for a quick break.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. Oh, we're coming in on 1. For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
They are certainly not giving up on their Rebels here. You got to give credit to the Freeman faithful for coming out for this one, as poorly as it has gone for the Rebels so far. There's the spike right there, but it goes out of bounds, and Freeman gets the ball down 17-8.
That was much needed for Freeman. Although they are down big, I have seen comebacks as big as this before.
They need to get a big one right here. Goes off of the pole right there. So it's going to be a point to the Rebels. Now 17-9. There's the serve there by Freeman. They're keeping it alive right here. Good block there on the front line by the Falcons. And a good kick right there. Get it back over this way. Get it back over the hit. Good play by Albus to keep it alive. And a nice block by the Falcons, but it's going to go out of bounds. 18-9 is the score.
Cox just putting an exclamation point on this game at this point.
Cox well on their way to possibly representing the other half of the state championship game set for Saturday morning. Good floater right there. Freeman trying to do anything they can to get some points. There's the spike. There's the spike right over there. Gets over to that side. Good play right there, but it goes right into the hands of the blocker, and it falls right in front of him.
That's another tough break. He was right there, but that ball's just going so fast.
No questions there. There's the play right there. They're trying to get it across. They got it across, and now it is 20-9 Cox. Cox now 5 points away from reaching the state finals. Freeman trying whatever they can. They get the spike that time. It falls in there, so it's now 20-10. Freeman setting up for the serve, down 10. There's the serve over to that side. He gets it in there. It's now 21-10.
Four points to pay dirt for the Falcons here.
Here's the jump serve attempt. Good serve, but a good dig on that part. Get it back over this way. Albus sets it up. There's the spike, and it bounces off of the Rebels, but they keep it alive, but the dig falls flat, and it's now 22-10.
The ball went off the top of one of the Freeman players' heads.
There's the spike once again. There's an ace. 23-10 now. You can just tell this right now. Some of the Freeman faithful not wanting to see the end of this one.
They're going to support their team either way.
No question about that. That one sails out of bounds, so Freeman's going to get the ball back down 12. Here they come up right here. There's the set right there. Good spike, but the Rebels keep it alive. Rebels trying their best. They get that one. It falls in, and it's match point.
And now the Cox Falcons can smell it. They can taste it.
There's the serve right there.
But the Rebel fans are letting them hear it.
Freeman trying to stave off elimination as long as they can. That one floats out of bounds, and the Cox Falcons will play in the state championship game on Saturday morning.
Hard-fought game by both teams.
I think it just showed you, if it showed you anything, like it just shows you the athleticism of that Cox team. It was absolutely unbelievable on that part.
Well, congratulations to both teams for making it to this stage of the postseason, though. That is no small feat.
That is certainly not a small feat by any stretch of the imagination. It's unfortunate for the Freeman Rebels that they got to fall just short. But at the end of the night, this was a very well-fought game. So the boys' AAA state championship is set between the Cosby Titans and the Cox Falcons. It will be played Saturday morning at 11 a.m. right here in the Siegel Center and broadcast to you live on the VHSL network. For Taylor Jensen, I'm Tim Lang saying thank you for watching us here. We have 2 more games left this afternoon, so be sure to keep watching us on the VHSL network. Once again, your final score here: Cox wins in straight sets over the Freeman Rebels. They were good. You ain't kidding. Seriously, they were really good.